Guys, he's been at the warehouse job for 12 years and he quit. Wow. People don't want to work anymore because they find out hard work doesn't work. Let's find out.
So the quick answer as to how I left my warehouse distribution center job is, for the last couple years before I put my 2 weeks in, I planned my escape behind the scenes really quietly without anybody knowing. I got my home right, my finances right, got all my debt paid off, stacked a lot of money.
Clever man.
And had something on the side prepared before I put my 2 weeks in. And nobody knew. I didn't tell a single soul until HR. Genius. 2 weeks before I quit.
Best way to do it.
I was at my warehouse distribution center job for almost 12 years. Started in 2010.
Wow.
And, at that time, that was a pretty good job. It was a good work environment, even though I was still loading trailers. What I was doing was I was in shipping department my entire 12 years. Loading trailers full of product to be sent out to stores. Well, about year 6 into it, I ended up staying in shipping, but I put in a driving position to get on a forklift in a reach trailer or reach truck. So my last 6 remaining years with the company, I was a forklift operator in shipping department. Again, you know, it was okay about year 6, but I started to see a heavy decline when management started changing, when HR started changing, and the company got bought out by another company. Now, the job was still secured, more or less, regardless. This company has been around since the early 1900s, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. However, I quickly realized that the new management didn't give a shit about the team members and didn't give a shit about, you know, anything about kissing ass to corporate, which, I mean, that's should be relatively common sense about any job, right? But it's kind of, you know, not easy to wrap your head around when this job you've had for so long was a good job, right? It was a good job. It's not like I was going into a shitty job to begin with, where it was a toxic work environment. For half my time there, it was a good job. And then slowly but surely, management crept in and started allowing really bad team members to get away with a bunch of shit. Now, I'm all for hard work. I'm all for downtime as well. You know, when you get your job done and you got a little bit of downtime, I'm cool with that. You know, I used to do the same thing. But the job always had to get done. And the unfortunate thing about it is that the new management that crept into this warehouse, into this distribution center, was so toxic that they would allow the lazy people to sit around on pallets, go for half-hour bathroom breaks,
cigarette breaks,
take longer regular breaks, just disappear off the floor, go talk to random girls, and a lot of the management would, you know, flirt with the team members.
He's literally saying word for word. I'm sure you can relate, right? Word for word, almost verbatim as to what happens in these jobs out there. And especially if management changes, it's finished. It's all politics. It's like a massive drama show. And then people who just want to get there and get the job done and grind and build up their finances, we get punished for it. Let me know in the comments if you can relate.
They formed their own little clique. And I saw that coming a mile away, and I didn't like it. In fact, they wanted me, among a couple other hard-working individuals in the department, to take on the bulk of the work.
Ooh.
And for a while there, I was stupid. And I did. And I found real quick that I'm doing more work for the same amount of pay. I'm doing their work while they're slacking off and doing nothing while I'm getting paid the same amount of pay. No promotion, no extra money, no this or that. The company
Wow.
started slowly going downhill. No incentives to come into work. No incentives for a lot of things. And I'm probably preaching to the choir with probably 99% of jobs out there. And hold on, I'm not just bitching, okay? I'm going somewhere with this. About how I got out of it and why I think you should too. The company, the management got so bad from top down that my wife actually worked there too for almost 20 years. She got me in.
Wow.
She worked there for 20 years. I was there for 12. She was there for 20. And she even saw it because she put in to be a manager. Now, like I said, she doesn't have any, no bad attendance, no write-ups, no nothing. Squeaky clean, history with the company
Record.
for 20 years. I had squeaky clean attendance across the board, and no strikes on me, no write-ups or nothing. I was a hard worker, I thought, and she was a hard worker. We got stuff done. And, and it's just unfortunate that the management, even though my wife wanted to become a manager at one point, they were promoting the wrong people. It was the women that was going around sleeping around with the other managers and that were wearing hoochie shit were getting promoted. And my wife obviously ain't like that. And so she put in for manager 3 fucking times. 3 fucking times she put in for manager.
Denied.
And they denied her every fucking time. Meanwhile, they're promoting women that are sleeping around, women that are flirting with other managers, wearing hoochie shit, running equipment off the dock and doing all these just tons of shit that they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. But somebody who dedicated 20 fucking years to your company with a squeaky clean record, who has been in all the other departments, every other fucking department. She knew the work of every other fucking department. You turned her
Crazy.
down 3 fucking times. And you hire the hookers of the company. Or you promote the hookers of the company. What a slap in the fucking face, man.
It's because it's all a ring, and the person in charge is the person who tends to flirt with all of these women and all of that. So they've got the final say per se, and they pick and choose. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Once more, if you've worked a 9 to 5, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's so unfortunate, but it's the reality. It's true.
What a slap in the fucking face.
Let's get on with it.
But it was just, I got tired of being used. I got so tired of being used for what? For no incentive whatsoever other than to work more harder, catch other people's red lights. It was like red light fucking district dumping that motherfucker. For some of y'all who don't know what red light means, is that the conveyor belts have so much product on them that it's getting backed up. That I ended up having to go up to these red lights because other lazy motherfuckers weren't doing their job, and it's like the lane exploded and fucking boxes are falling off the fucking line and shit. And I'm trying to go in there and fix their shit, taking on the responsibility of the managers and some of their work to get their workload to some of their workload off their back, so their managers and their IOs aren't jumping down their back. In the meantime, half those motherfuckers are standing at their computer, ain't doing shit. Walking around, not helping. Flirting around with other team members. Sitting in their fucking office. Making themselves look busy.
We all know one person.
And
who does
like
that.
I said, it's not like tiered. I mean, the next level up would have been, because you got team members, and that's it. Team members, managers, and above them were IOs, inbound, outbound, management, and then maintenance. And then obviously you got corporate and shit like that. But if you're just a bottom of the barrel team member, y'all get paid the fucking same. It don't matter if you've been there 2 years or 20 years. Y'all's getting paid the same. And I dedicated 12 fucking years to this company, man. 12 fucking years. My wife put in 20 fucking years.
That's
For
crazy.
what? For fucking what?
Sorry, by the way,
These
for all the
companies don't
swearing.
give a shit. You could die to
Because I didn't know he was going to swear this much, because we don't really swear on this channel. We keep it family friendly. But,
tomorrow, and they'll have a moment of silence over their PA, if you're lucky. If you were on their side, on their good side, no matter how long you were there, you'll get maybe a minute of fucking silence, and then they replace you the same day. There's no incentive to work at these warehouse jobs anymore. And it's not just because of the lazy people that they're bringing in. And this is true. I've seen it across the board at this job, at this warehouse for 12 years. And my wife's seen it for 20 years. They bring in the lazy people, and all they do is sit around on their phones, talking, bullshitting around, not getting the job done. And this isn't just Gen Z. This is fucking millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers. They're all fucking not working. None of them are fucking working. And you got maybe 10% of the workforce in there is doing 90% of the fucking work for the same fucking pay. I took on a lot of the roles of management, doing startup meetings and shit. Well, that was my own fault. But like I said, my mind wasn't right because it was a good job for the first few years. It was worth going into back in 2010. And then shit just changed with management. And it starts at the top. People want to say, management want to say, well, if we could only get good workers in, that's like 50% of the freaking problem, man. Half the problem, if not more the problem, is them, the management. They're the reason why people don't want to work for them. Because they don't hold others accountable, and they sure as hell don't hold that same standard and hold themselves accountable. They don't want to get in there and help you out. I'm not saying all of them. There was a few managers in that company over the 12 years. I can count on probably one or two hands out of hundreds, though. 10% were worth a damn. And those 10% of those managers that were worth a damn were overworked themselves, and their hands were tied. And there was shit they couldn't do.
I know.
But the other 90%, the vast majority of management in these warehouse jobs, they're fucking worthless, man.
Crazy
they're
how
pulling
you
them
can
off the
relate to
street with a degree instead of hiring within with people who have experience and know the building, know the system, know the departments. And I'm not just jaded because my wife didn't get it 3 fucking times. Of course I am a little bit. Fuck them. You know who you are if you're watching. But it's just
imagine you see them in the comment section.
Like, promote within, man. Instead of pulling people who have a degree. Your degree ain't shit, man. Just because you have a degree don't mean you know how to fucking do operations in a building. There's team members that know how to do operations more than some of these fucking managers. It's ridiculous.
I do understand it, but there's a certain skill set I guess someone with a degree could, I said could very loosely, because usually university is just a party festival basically, where all these kids go out there and just pretty much party and drink. So I do understand that experience trumps their degree by a mile, but it depends on who is coming from. Because if someone who dropped out of school super young, worked their way up, they've got the skills, but maybe their written work isn't so good. They're not so good at reading, competency, communication. I would take someone with a degree who's written a bunch of essays. They know how to communicate, write emails, be professional. They can communicate well to a team. You see what I mean? So it's got its perks. But overall, experience trumps over it. I'm sure you agree. Let me know in the comment section.
It's not worth it anymore. It's not worth going into these warehouse distribution jobs where you're treated like dog shit. And then you might be the 1% that's working hard. The other 90% are dog shit too. They don't want to fucking work. They want to sit around. They want to do the least amount of work as possible and get paid the most as possible for as long as possible. That's why you need to not quit. I'm not saying to quit. Don't quit, because right now you need a job. I'm saying use your warehouse job as a stepping stool to quiet quit. To get yourself in a place to where you can walk out and work at any job you want, like I did. And be happy doing a job you enjoy, even if it's less money, to where at any point in time, you can say, you know what, I don't like this job. I don't need you. You might need me, but I don't need you. Because I've been retired for the last 2 years, and I made a video about how I'm trying to search for purpose. Like I had financially everything in order. I had all my ducks in order to quit this job of 12 years. And the reason why I didn't quit right away is because I have kids. I needed to make sure that I had a plan in place. And it took me 5 years of the 12 years to plan to get out from my escape. And I'm here to tell you, you can do the same thing. Plan your escape. Don't quit. Plan your escape. Because these people, these warehouse jobs, these management, they don't give a shit. They don't care.
So real. I like it.
And it's not just the management. It is people that don't want to work, man. It is people. And they sit there quietly laughing at you while you're hustling like a fucking rabbit all over the dock floor trying to get the shit done in time just so you can go home and get paid the same amount of fucking money that these lazy motherfuckers are getting paid. And management is to blame. Who the fuck wants to work like that? Who wants to work like that? And on top of who wants to work like that, who the fuck wants to be in management over that? Shit has to change, man. It's crazy. These companies, the management does not care for you, for me, for anyone. They're about the dollar. And I get it. I mean, I get it.
There are 5,000 comments to go through, by the
America,
way. We'll go through at the end.
Corporatism. I get it. I'm for it too. But at the same time, grab your fucking balls, managers. Grab your fucking balls, man. Start HR. Grab your fucking balls. Start paying attention to the ones that are depressed and angry. Because the ones that are depressed and angry are most likely the ones that give a shit about your company. The ones that are just laughing it off and chit-chatting and bullshit, they don't give a fuck about your company. They don't give a fuck about work. It's the ones that become bitter in the job that you need to be paying attention to. And it's crazy because that's what they want. That's what these companies want, is for you to become bitter. So you walk out, so you quit. They don't want somebody who's been there 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They want you out. Because
they have to keep bringing your pay up. I had a similar thing. Because the longer you stay, the more they keep having to bump your pay up. But if they bring someone new who's inexperienced, they get away with paying them less. So even though it's an insane thing to think about. You stay at the company longer, you get better and better at your job, but you can actually almost outdo the company where it's no longer, you've kind of evened out because you're really good, yes, but you're costing a lot. If we multiply your pay for someone who's been there long times 10, times 50 of you guys who are really good, yes, but you're costing a bit, that starts to add up. So we need to get rid of a few people, bring in new ones, get the old ones who are really experienced to train the younger ones, and then we can get away with paying them less because they're younger and they've been in the company less, so we can pay them less because there's less pay rises and all of that. You see, it's very weird, but it's true, and they get away with it, and it works. I mean, it works. I've seen it countless of times, time and time again. So it 100% works. But let's see the comment section down below. It's hard to believe that just 50 years ago, a man could work full-time at the same place for 30 years, make enough for his stay-at-home wife and a couple of kids, and live comfortably, pay off a mortgage, and retire with a nice pension. That was what we once called the American dream. Yeah, you can forget about that. It's called American nightmare. Literally. The American nightmare, the UK nightmare, worldwide is the exact same thing is happening worldwide, basically. Okay, and let's not forget about inflation. Inflation is taking off. Cost of living is taking up. So now, if you don't quietly plan your escape or quietly quit, as he mentioned in this video, Red Leg Piper, you are doomed. You are trapped. You're trapped. So it's more so than ever about wisdom. Having the wisdom to just literally say, you know what, I need to get out of this. I need to create and build an exit plan. And I need to make it work. I don't care how long it takes, but I have to make it work. Oh, what if you die? You know, chill out, live a little. What if you don't? What if you don't die? You know? And then you're there struggling. My dad told me, as soon as you feel unappreciated in the workplace, just leave, because it's never going to get better. I completely agree. In fact, let me like that. I think everyone is waking up to the fact that working class are a slave class. Very true. I believe this guy's in the UK as well, because I see it right here. Are slave class and treated like property, like a machine. I wish every success from the UK. Yeah, I called it. So yeah. Never go out your way to do extra work in a toxic work environment. Let it implode. Wow. It's true though. It is true. I mean, it's unfortunate, it's true. It shouldn't be like that, and I don't believe it should be like that. I believe a good working place or a good work environment will literally allow everybody there to thrive. People will feel like coming into work, and they'll work their bums off, essentially. But yeah, I don't want this to drag. Like the video. Let me know your comments in the comment section down below. Where do you work? Have you come across this? Can you relate in the comment section down below? And yeah, share this video with someone who needs to hear this and quietly quit. I'll catch you guys in the next one.